Sometimes archaeologists can't believe what they're looking at. Well, that's because they go searching for one thing and end up uncovering something completely different. At times, what they find even clashes with what they thought they already understood. When that happens, they're left with no choice but to accept they've uncovered something unreal, and we've pulled together some of those mind-bending finds for you in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 15. The submerged Spanish Stonehenge. Well, without a doubt, Stonehenge in England gets all the attention, but you won't believe it, it's not the oldest stone circle in Europe. Back in 2020, extreme drought conditions exposed a long submerged monument in Spain, the Dolmen of Guadalperro, now often called the Spanish Stonehenge. Hidden underwater for decades in the Valdecañas Reservoir, the site revealed more than 140 granite blocks, some standing over 6 feet tall. Experts believe the circle dates back nearly 5,000 years and may have been used for sun worship. What's more impressive is that the stones didn't come from the area. They were transported from over 5 miles away using an unknown method. The monument is smaller than Stonehenge but may have served the same purpose, and some researchers believe the original idea for Stonehenge could have been influenced by a structure like this. It's likely the builders were Celtic tribes living in the Iberian Peninsula. While the stones remain vulnerable to changing water levels, their temporary reappearance has provided an unexpected window into prehistoric life in Western Europe. Number 14. The Holy Robe of Trier. The Holy Robe, believed by many to be the seamless garment worn by Jesus before his crucifixion, is one of Christianity's oldest and most venerated relics. Said to have been discovered by Saint Helena in the 4th century, it was entrusted to the Diocese of Trier in Germany, where it's still kept today. Normally stored folded inside a reliquary, the robe is only revealed to the public on rare occasions. One of those occurred in 1512, when Emperor Maximilian I requested to see it, a moment that began centuries of irregular pilgrimages to Trier. Its most recent public viewing was back in 2012, attracting over 500,000 pilgrims. Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI acknowledged its spiritual significance, saying the robe reflects both Christ's final hours and the Church's unity. Scientific testing has never been performed, so its origin remains debated, but its symbolic power hasn't faded. Whether historical or not, the robe continues to draw thousands in quiet reverence, a relic of faith more than proof. Number 13. Saudi Arabia's ancient mustatiles. In Saudi Arabia, archaeologists have uncovered massive structures known as mustatiles. These stone monuments are believed to be around 7,000 years old. That would make them some of the oldest examples of large-scale human architecture on this holy earth. Animal horns and skulls have been found buried around them, leading researchers to think they may have had ceremonial or spiritual significance. These formations even predate Britain's stone circles and Egypt's pyramids. What fascinates scholars is how consistently shaped they are. Most mustatiles have rectangular enclosures with raised platforms at both ends, suggesting intentional planning and a shared design purpose. Over 500 were documented by 2019, but that number doubled after a recent satellite survey, showing the structures span nearly 300,000 square miles. At the center of each rectangle stands a large upright stone, often surrounded by skulls, possibly hinting at ritual sacrifice. Building on this scale would have required coordination and leadership traits rarely associated with Neolithic cultures. But the evidence speaks for itself. The mustatiles are forcing experts to rethink what early human societies in Arabia were capable of. Number 12. The Peterborough Petroglyphs. Historians are slowly beginning to accept that we've long underestimated the abilities of the Celts. But did they really reach Canada 2,000 years ago? That's one of several controversial ideas tied to the Peterborough Petroglyphs in Ontario, the largest collection of ancient rock carvings in North America, with more than 900 figures etched into stone. Local indigenous communities call the site Kinnomaj-Wapkong, meaning the rocks that teach, believing the area serves as a physical link to the spirit world. The carvings include images of animals, humans, boats, and celestial symbols. According to mainstream archaeology, the Algonquian people created them roughly 1,100 years ago. However, the degree of erosion visible on some of the glyphs suggests they could be far older. With no organic material to date, their true age remains uncertain. Some of the designs even resemble Celtic symbols found across Europe. That's not solid proof of Celtic contact, but it certainly adds fuel to one of archaeology's most persistent fringe debates. Number 11. The Library of Ashurbanipal. If you're searching for the oldest known royal library, you'll find it in present-day Iraq. It's called the Library of Ashurbanipal and dates back over 2,600 years. While it's recognized as the earliest royal library ever found, some experts argue it may even be the oldest library of any kind. Named after Ashurbanipal, one of the final rulers of the Neo-Assyrian Empire, the library was uncovered near Mosul during British Museum excavations in the 1850s. Its size stunned researchers, and it took until the 1930s for the full site to be properly excavated. Over 30,000 clay tablets or fragments of them were recovered. They cover everything the people of the time knew: religion, science, law, medicine, and more. It was essentially a physical archive of all available knowledge. The library also included royal decrees, records, and instruction manuals. When Alexander the Great began translating the literature of conquered lands into Greek, scholars believe his concept for the Library of Alexandria was inspired, at least in part, by this one. Number 10. The controversial Gospel of Barnabas. The Bible's historical authenticity has long been debated, altered, retranslated, and edited over centuries. But this blackened manuscript from the Ankara Justice Palace in Turkey may be closer to the original than anything in a modern church. At least 1,500 years old, possibly older, this ancient Bible is written in gold lettering on leather and includes a long-lost gospel, the Gospel of Barnabas. In it, Barnabas describes Jesus not as the Son of God, but as a human prophet. He also accuses Apostle Paul of being an impostor and claims Jesus wasn't crucified. Judas Iscariot was in his place. The manuscript's age suggests it could predate even the Ethiopian Bible. That might explain why it contains chapters excluded from modern versions. It's a stark reminder that the Bible once included far more Gospels than the 4 canonical ones, most of which were eliminated by the Council of Nicaea over 1,700 years ago. If this version is genuine, it changes everything we thought we knew. What do you think about it? Well, let us know. Number 9. The Maijishan Grottos. You could spend days exploring the Maijishan Grottos in China and still not see everything. Hundreds of caves are carved into cliffs along what was once part of the Silk Road, hidden deep in the mountains. These chambers were intentionally built in hard-to-reach places, possibly to protect their contents from thieves. Because of that isolation, the original statues and wall art have survived for centuries. The first grottos date back to the 4th century, and the last were completed nearly 1,000 years later. Altogether, the murals from every cave would cover nearly 500,000 square feet. Each was created by Buddhist monks, but their styles changed over time, influenced by shifting politics, trade, and empires. A sharp-eyed historian can spot Roman, Tibetan, Han Chinese, Turkic, and Persian elements in the artwork. One cave, number 17, once served as a library and held more than 50,000 Tibetan manuscripts. Sadly, many of those documents were sold to Western collectors and have since vanished into private hands. Number 8. The Theater of Epidaurus. The ancient Theater of Epidaurus, built in the late 4th century BCE in the Greek city of the same name, is renowned for both its grandeur and precision. Constructed by Polykleitos the Younger, it could seat between 13,000 and 14,000 spectators and hosted music, drama, and sacred performances honoring Asclepius, the god of healing. The idea was simple: art could heal, and this theater was where that happened. It's not just historically crucial, it's architecturally perfect. Its tripartite design includes the theatron, orchestra, and skene, all preserved in Hellenistic form. A horizontal passage divides the auditorium into 2 tiers, carefully designed for flawless acoustics. In 1988, the entire site was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Today it remains active, hosting modern performances during the annual Epidaurus Festival, world-class actors, including Maria Callas, have performed on its stage. With its original gates recently restored, the theater still draws visitors from around the world. All right, guys, now let's move to number 7, Western Jia tombs. Let's stay in China a bit longer, this time for the massive beehive-shaped tombs of the Western Jia dynasty. These pyramidal mausoleums, spread across the valleys of Yinchuan, are visible from miles away. There are over 250 smaller tombs, but 9 much larger ones dominate the site, each belonging to a former emperor of the Western Jia who ruled the region from 1038 until 1227. That year, the Mongol army led by Genghis Khan swept through, completely dismantling the empire. Most other evidence of the Western Jia civilization was wiped out in that invasion, leaving these tombs as one of the few remaining links to a lost dynasty. Since their discovery in 1972, archaeologists have taken a careful, methodical approach to excavation. That work is still ongoing today. The most significant find so far has been the confirmed remains of the first Western Jia emperor, who died in 1048. With much of the area still unexcavated, this site remains a rare physical thread to a once dominant empire erased by conquest. Number 6. Winnemucca Lake petroglyphs. If you're talking about ancient art in North America, the petroglyphs at Winnemucca Lake in Nevada are in a league of their own. These etched symbols carved into rock in the now dry lake bed are the oldest petroglyphs ever found in U.S. Carbon dating used on the surrounding mineral crust suggests they're about 14,800 years old. That's well before most known human activity in the region. While some of the designs are simple, lines, spirals, and geometric shapes, others clearly depict plants, trees, and complex natural forms. Still, no one knows who created them or what they meant. Native American tribes have examined the carvings and confirmed they don't match any known tribal language or art style. That makes the symbols an open mystery and a possible remnant of a civilization that predates all currently known groups in the Americas. Twice as old as any other petroglyphs in the country, these markings suggest that symbolic communication or early language was developing here long before we assumed it was. Number 5. The Location de Set Hoard. Let's talk about the largest cache of ancient Celtic coins ever found. It was found back in 2012 on the British island of Jersey, but the coins themselves were in bad shape. Over time, corrosion and pressure had fused all 68,000 of them into a single block of metal. It took specialists more than 3 years to carefully separate each coin. The treasure, now known as the Location de Second Hoard, also contained gold torques, decorative silver and gold fittings, and glass beads, all hidden among the mass of currency. Archaeologists believe that Gallic Celts from what's now France buried the hoard some 2,000 years ago to keep it out of Roman hands during Caesar's invasions. The plan worked. The coins stayed buried, but the people who buried them never came back. As of now, the hoard's value exceeds $7 million. Jersey's government hasn't decided whether to sell it or keep it as a national asset. So what will you do if you find one? Number 4. Roman ruins of Italica. When Rome first expanded into the Iberian Peninsula, its earliest permanent settlement was Italica. Founded in 206 BCE by General Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus, better known for defeating Hannibal at the Battle of Zama, the city was created as a home for his battle-hardened veterans. Located in what is now modern-day Spain, Italica quickly gained a reputation back in Rome as an idealized retreat. It became so revered that 2 emperors, Trajan and his successor Hadrian, were born within its walls. Despite being abandoned during the Islamic period, Italica was never completely destroyed. Rediscovered in the 1600s, it remains remarkably well preserved. Its intricate mosaics still lie intact, and the city's amphitheater, shaped like a cross, stands as a striking example of Roman engineering. Italica's influence was once so great that it shaped imperial succession. Though it no longer thrives, what's left offers one of the clearest windows into how Roman power reshaped the ancient world, not just militarily, but culturally and socially. Italica was more than a colony. It was Rome's experiment in perfection. Number 3. The Giggleswick Boat. One of Yorkshire's most remarkable maritime relics, a centuries-old carved wooden boat, is finally going back on display after surviving war, time, and near-total destruction. Originally uncovered near Giggleswick Tarn in 1863, the fishing vessel was sent to the Leeds City Museum, where it remained until 1941, when the museum was bombed during World War II. The boat was shattered into 45 pieces, presumed lost forever. But decades later, experts began restoring what was left. After meticulous reconstruction, the vessel will now be shown at the Leeds Discovery Center. Kat Baxter, curator of archaeology, called its survival against so many odds a powerful reminder of what history hides below our feet. Visitors can now view the painstakingly restored craft and imagine the people who once relied on it. Appointments are required to visit, but the exhibit offers a rare, hands-on glimpse into the region's seafaring past, a story buried in mud, broken in war, and finally put back together after nearly a century in pieces. Number 2. Zakimi Castle. Zakimi Castle, or Zakimi Gasuku, is a historic stronghold in Japan. Though largely in ruins today, its structure has been partially restored and formally recognized as a World Heritage Site since 2000 as part of the Gasuku sites of the Ryukyu Kingdom. Built between 1416 and 1422 by the renowned Ryukyuan general Gosamaru, it was constructed using labor sourced from as far as the Yaeyama Islands, with materials repurposed from nearby Yamata Castle. Strategically placed, the castle overlooked northern Okinawa, reinforcing regional control. It features 2 inner courtyards and includes Okinawa's first stone arch gate, built using distinctive keystone masonry from the Ryukyu region. During World War II, the Japanese military used the site as an artillery base, and later, U.S. forces operated it as a radar station that caused structural damage, now repaired. While restoring ruins might seem futile, in Zakimi's case it preserved a rare and significant symbol of Okinawan heritage that otherwise might have been erased. Number 1. The Sacsayhuaman Monolith. The archaeological site of Sacsayhuaman in Peru is filled with ancient ruins, but the massive stone monolith at its center often steals the attention. Sacsayhuaman was a ceremonial hub for the Inca, a place for public rituals, offerings, and celebrations in honor of water deities. And the monolith might have been more than just decorative. While some believe it's simply a carved stone with ornamental water channels, others think it had a more advanced function, a scale model of the surrounding region. Its carved grooves and channels may represent rivers, canals, or reservoirs, acting as a test model for irrigation systems. Certain features even resemble topographic contours. If this theory is correct, the Incas may have used it to plan water flow and manage infrastructure with startling precision. This level of design speaks to a civilization that wasn't just spiritual but deeply practical. Whether it was a sacred altar or a hydrological map, the craftsmanship still challenges what we thought we knew about Incan engineering. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.